Hey there, foodie lovers. Stephanie Gravalese here with a warm welcome to yet another episode of Food Stories Told. Tag along as we journey through the delightful realms of food history and share stories of the moments that bring flavor into our lives. Do you remember in 2020 when our kitchens were full of DIY sourdough starters, whipped coffee experiments, and the sweet aroma of countless loaves of banana bread? That was a time. Today, let's reminisce a bit. I'd love to take you through my adventures in the world of pasta, hand making them just like the pros do, and how this specific craft is a space where I allow myself to be creative, connect with my culture, and inherently myself. In 2018, before our world drastically changed, I embarked on a trip which has become the first of many, to Italy to dive into the culture of food and the people around it. Arriving in Florence on a hot afternoon, I realized that my 3-week journey to Italy was quite the contrary to the typical Italian summer. It was around the time of Ferragosto, and most of the city was in quiet repose, save for the typical tourist areas. While it was a vacation for some, for me, it was a mission to learn the art of pasta making. I had been to Italy a couple times before, but after watching Nancy Silverton's episode of Chef's Table, I'd never been to Florence, had not spent time in Tuscany, and I was hooked. So, 3 weeks, I happened to newly freelance, and after initial class in the Chianti Hills in the Tuscan countryside, I thought I had some solid beginnings. But it wasn't until I stayed on an agriturismo outside of the city of Modena that I met my real teacher. Now, I'm sure that many Americans picture the pasta grannies, the nonnas, the sfolias, the older women that we see as this archetype, the strega nonnas of pasta making. The woman I ended up working with was a single mother of 2 whose daughter had purple hair and piercings. It was the absolute experience of reality for me in learning how to make pasta with her. Spending that time with her in the agriturismo allowed me the tools to not only understand pasta, to learn to make it in different environments. Don't forget, this was August in Italy. This is when you stayed inside during the day and you went out at night. That time at the agriturismo gave me the foundation and the resilience and joy to think about pasta. Making pasta wasn't this quaint, precious act, but was the moment of taking simple ingredients and bringing them to life in a way that reminded me, as long as I have flour and water, at minimum, I can have a meal. The physical act of making pasta for me, from understanding proportions to the act of kneading dough, became a form of culinary art therapy for me. This gripping experience not only helped me heal at a time in my life, but also inspired me to give back to those I love. So back to Italy. My visit next to the city of Modena was filled with excitement as I marveled at the Saturday market, the home of Pavarotti, massive engines in the Ferrari Museum. The beating rays of the sun bounced off the salmon and buttermilk-colored buildings, brightened the demure surroundings. In addition, my trip left me with a deeper understanding of food traditions and the importance of shaping identity. Now, one pasta shape would have been cool, but I said, why not go for 100? Italians at minimum have around 350 pasta shapes documented. I wanted to learn as many as possible. Could I do them well? We'll see. But the goal was to learn at least 100 from scratch. Armed with bags of 00 flour, high quality semolina, and beautiful golden eggs. I dove back into the pasta world as soon as I got home to the States, aligning textures, pairing them with sauces, and creating pasta like those generations before me. Trust me, friends, the whole adventure was anything but ordinary, and what I take with me to this day has helped shape me as a food writer. Sometimes, even though I know I'll still mess up some tortellini, it's always going to be a special night when I make it for someone. For me, making pasta is an act of love. I simply love pasta. It's not just about eating carbs. Oh, no. It is the beauty and complexity of it, while also appreciating simplicity. It's amazing how something can be both beautiful and simple. But isn't that what great food is about? The ability of taking ingredients at their core, having the right knowledge and patience to build up flavors, resulting in something so special. Each pasta shape I learn unfolds a new chapter, a story with flavors of its own, origins and lineage. My quest for knowledge through pasta continues. It's an affair that keeps me warm and connected to my roots and ability to make something from nothing. As we now navigate the not-so-delicate dance of these seasonal shifts to winter, I find that I relish this time of year. I break out my KitchenAid mixer. I spend some of the budget that I've squirreled away to bring on a couple new pasta-making tools, and it is a time for me. I find that the kitchen is a bit warmer, and while it may not necessarily be as hot as Italy in August, it's like a call to dive into dough, to learn, to create, and to share. At the end of the day, cooking is more than food, right? It's about creating love with your own two hands and sharing that with others. I'm excited to share more about my own cooking journey and the stories of the places I've been and the things I've learned along the way. So tune in next time on Food Stories Told. I've got more food stories, plenty of traditions, and tales waiting for you. Until then, keep the curiosity alive, and always remember, the best stories are those shared over a meal. Now, have I inspired you yet to start making pasta for yourself? If you're interested in diving into this world, I have 5 tips to guide you on your own pasta making adventure. The first tip is to embark with patience and enjoyment. Pasta making is an art that requires time and focus. Don't rush the process. Perhaps your first dough will be a little dry or a little wet. Move slowly and instead find the joy in each step. This is a journey of learning and perfecting your craft, so take your time. The second tip I have for you is unleash your creativity and experiment. From the various shapes to different flavors, to even ways you can flavor your dough in different colors. Pasta making offers a playground for creativity. Feel free to deviate from traditional recipes, create your own unique blends that make sense for the flavors in your kitchen. Don't worry, we won't tell anybody. The third tip is to immerse yourself in the food's history. Now, as a food culture writer and history nerd like myself, I find that anytime I am learning about a culture, where the food comes from, the stories behind it, really makes the experience richer. Each pasta shape, every sauce has a story behind it. You may find one specific shape of pasta that, depending on the village, will go from 3 to 5 different names, and each of them may have a different story. As you dive into your pasta making journey, try to uncover these histories. Such insights can make your pasta making journey more rewarding and enlightening. The next tip is share your passion. Whether you're making pasta and sharing it with others, or you're making it with a loved one, a family member, or any person in your life. Invite your friends and family to join along on this journey. The collaborative effort not only lightens the workload, but also adds a special touch to your dishes. And the last tip I have for you is savor all aspects of the process. Let's not forget that it's about creating love with your hands and sharing it. I'm a bit romantic when it comes to food, but I do believe in the power of making food by hand, the amazing effort that is put into taking a ball of dough and crafting with meticulous detail these delicious shapes. Don't be too hard on yourself if your pasta shapes aren't perfect at first. Every misshapen tortellini or uneven tagliatelle is part of the learning process. And when your dishes are served, take your time, savor each bite, and take pride in the personal touch you've added. These are skills that not only build a greater connection to food, but allow us to see the power of simple ingredients and what some food cultures have done to survive and thrive. Food Stories Told is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you enjoy podcast listening. Please hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss any future episodes. It's your support that helps me continue to share these personal narratives with you and stories of the people, places, and memories around what goes into each meal. And if you want to stay connected between episodes, please follow me on Instagram at Food Stories Told. It's like a behind-the-scenes look at my food world of storytelling and some of the additional memories and connections to the episodes that I share here. Lastly, if you enjoy my show, please take a moment to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. Your feedback helps me greatly, and it helps others discover these food stories. Until next time, keep creating and cherishing those food memories. Remember, every meal has a story waiting to be told.